The Rad Runner 2 and the Rad Runner Plus both come with a 672 watt-hour battery. That is average, middle-of-the-road battery size. I did a range test, a mix of pedal assistance, full throttle, through the city, through the forest, up the hills, you name it. I achieved 18 miles, that's pretty good. Battery range depends on your weight, the bike's weight, and about a million other variables. And if you need more, you can put a new battery in real easy as long as you have the money. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of keys because they only lock me out of the bike, but some city riders may really appreciate the keys on the battery. The motor on this bike is a hub drive motor. That means the motor is inside of the rear wheel. It has 750 watts of power or 80 Newton meters. Most mountain bikes come with 85 Newton meters, so I felt right at home on this bike. You should expect a decent amount of power, but you're still gonna wanna spin the pedals. It's really nice to see this adjustable seat on this moped style bike. The display on the bike is a little chunky and resembles the Millennium Falcon, but it works fairly good and it's simple to use. The power adjuster on the left of the handlebars here is pretty sleek and it works well. It's got 5 power settings, no complaints on that. The chassis of the bike is all aluminum, very well thought out and well built. It has the right handlebars and the right stem. You don't need to change anything. The Rad separates itself from the crowd with all these bolt holes and all the accessories you can put on. I love to see super customizable bikes because everyone's got different needs. The bike I'm testing is a Rad Runner Plus and it's equipped with a front medium basket and this amazing phone holder. I'm not a huge fan of this basket because it screws up my perception of the front wheel when I'm turning, but the utility of it is absolutely great. The brake lights on the rear are a fantastic touch for city riding and traffic. The brakes on this bike are not fantastic. It comes with cable actuated brakes. I would much prefer to see hydraulic brakes on a heavy e-bike, but it would add some cost. I did a couple of panic stops and I was not impressed with the braking distance on the bike, especially on the dirt. As you can see here, the bike was not stopping very quickly. Cable actuated brakes are not acceptable for a 70-pound bicycle. This is probably the bike's biggest flaw. Fortunately, brakes can be changed and it's not permanent. The Rad Runner Plus, the one I'm testing here, comes with a couple extra features over the Rad Runner 2. The Rad Runner Plus here has a suspension fork, passenger seating, fenders, and it has some gears. The front suspension is 80 millimeters, and if you're not familiar, that's very small. I tested it locked out and open. The wide tires provide much more suspension than the fork ever can. The wide tires on this bike are providing the suspension, not the fork. The Rad Runner Plus comes with a 7-speed Shimano gear set. That's a very small set of gears and I was struggling to climb hills. The Rad Runner 2 comes with no gears, so you better be riding on flat trails or roads only with the Rad Runner 2. Fortunately, gears are really easy to change, so these are just kind of nitpicks. My overall experience on the Rad bike is positive. It is definitely a car replacing e-bike with all these accessories you can bolt on it. The bike is really well thought out. It's not your copy and paste e-bike. I had a pretty good time riding it off-road. These wide tires are pretty fun and capable. I could foresee a lot of people struggling to lift this bike up. It's pretty heavy. I chose to drive my pickup truck, but if you're looking for a cheap bike rack that can carry this bike with the battery removed, click this video here.